Greenland ice sheet is one of the world's most sensitive environments to global climate change. About half of the ice loss from Greenland comes from icebergs, the rest from surface melting. Whilst we understand that climate warming increases melt, we don't understand how climate affects mass loss through icebergs. This is mainly because we've only been able to observe iceberg generation over the last 2 or 3 decades using satellites, but climate changes over much longer timescales.
1, 2, 3.
The CALVE project combines diverse expertise across glaciology, geomorphology, sedimentology,
Okay, I'm going in, Kate.
marine biology, paleoecology, and even archaeology to exploit a unique opportunity to reconstruct the advance and retreat of a major Greenlandic glacier over the last 1,000 years. The glacial team is seeking to understand the timings of when the glacier advanced and then retreated. The paleoecology team is seeking to understand when the Vikings settled and when they left. And the marine team is seeking to understand the impact of the changing glacial environment on the marine ecosystems. So the project focuses upon Kangiata Nunata Sirmia, one of the largest and most dynamic tidewater glaciers in southwest Greenland. We call it KNS for short. Normally glaciers and ice sheets, when they advance, they destroy all the sedimentary evidence. But at KNS, the ice sheet created ice-dammed lakes and diverted rivers into locations adjacent to the main valley. And so by visiting those sites and dating the sediments there, we're able to tell when the ice reached those locations and build up a picture of its advance.
It's not far off. I think I'm going to lash it all in there though, and then just boil it all up together. It's nearly done.
Cool.
There's going to be a lot of dinner.
Good, I'm hungry.
Good.
Glaciers that reach the sea, we call these tidewater glaciers, break up or carve into icebergs. So our work will provide the first long-term record of changes in glacier calving rates, which is essential for a better understanding of the sensitivity of calving to climate forcing. The main objectives of this project are to reconstruct and independently validate the longest ever record of Greenlandic tidewater glacier calving behaviour. And in the process, we'll hopefully offer exciting new insights to understand the demise of the Norse western settlement of Greenland. Glacial geomorphologists and glaciologists are looking at the sediments left behind by the glacier as it advanced and retreated down the valleys and the fjords. The paleoecologists are looking at some of the most remote Viking settlement sites, very close to where the ice came, to see whether there's any evidence of unusual settlement patterns as the ice advanced and retreated. The marine team are taking sediment cores and samples from the shallow waters of the fjords and interpreting these to work out what impact the changing glacier had on the marine environment. They've been also looking for a species of coralline algae which has growth bands, a bit like tree rings, which they can analyse to work out the temperature and the salinity of the water in which the coral has grown. These corals are very slow growing, and we're hoping to find some that will give us an environmental reconstruction of the fjord going back hundreds of years. The project is unusual in that combining glacial geomorphology with paleoecology and archaeology and marine biology enables us to put together a long-term record of calving glacier change, which will be the first of its kind anywhere in Greenland. KNS will therefore become the most optimum site for testing computer simulations of how tidewater calving glaciers react to climate change. So by determining ice sheet change over the last 1,000 years, we have a unique opportunity to understand how such a large tidewater calving glacier responded to different phases of environmental warming and cooling. And by undertaking paleoecological investigations at these Viking sites, we will also contribute to the wider study of the fragility and resilience of past societies to climate change. Our analysis shows that about 900 years ago the glacier started to advance very rapidly and continued for about 150 years. This shows that the calving glaciers are very sensitive not just to climate warming causing rapid retreat, but also to climatic cooling causing rapid rates of advance. The results of our project will be very valuable to people who are working on computer simulations, because if we can simulate how the glaciers have behaved over the last 1,000 years, it'll give us much more confidence in our ability to predict how they'll respond to climate change in the future.
Þar valdaður og vel skorðaður undir sæti með í hillum fyrir ofan sætisraðirnar nema setrir útganguleiðir, en þar fann okkur vel skorðaður í hillum eingöngum og ég bið ykkur að draga upp gluggann. Ég var fyrir flugtak og svo aftur fyrir lendingu í London. Notkun smærri rafeindatækja heimil.